Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know exactly what it is I do here. I am a coach specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile after infidelity. Okay. I know that people will tell you that it is a difficult thing to do, that it's damn near impossible, that, oh no, you should never try and forgive this person for cheating. But what if they're your person? What if they're the person that you really do want to be with and you want to forgive them? You shouldn't be backed into a corner by their bad decisions saying that you can't do what you would like to do. So if you want to forgive, if you want to reconcile, then that's what I am here for. I am here to help you do that. Here to help you figure out exactly how that is supposed to happen, exactly what you're supposed to do, why it's so difficult, and we talk a lot about that. Why it feels so bad, why it's so difficult to get out of the bad habits and the negative thoughts after this has happened, after you've been cheated on. But we are here to bring back the love. That is basically what we are here doing. We are here for you to come to peace and reconciliation and love and compassion and understanding with the person that you want to have that with. I don't think that you're wrong. All right. That's just what it comes down to. I wasn't wrong. I am 17 years past the last D date with my husband, and all of my effort, everything that I did, all that I know now shows me that I was right the entire time. I was exactly right about my person, about my love story. Nobody can tell me now that I was incorrect because I've shown that I was correct. So I want you to show people too. I want you to show up all the people who keep on trying to say, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater, and he's always going to treat you bad. I want you to show those people that no. I know who I am with. I know who I chose, and I'm telling you right now, that is not the person that I am with. That is not the life that we're going to have. I do not accept that. All right. So glad that you're here. Let me make sure I can see everything. Oh, goodness. We're going to dive right in. We're going to talk about why this is so difficult, right? We're going to talk about the fact that this is a trauma that happened to you. This was not just a little thing, okay? It's not just, oh, my heart got hurt a little bit. No, you had the full fledged trauma happen to you. It is a mental and physical thing, it is a real thing that is happening to you in real time. I need you to know how you can start to calm down the physical part of it so that you can get a hold of the mental and emotional part of it. That makes sense? All right. So, the first thing that we always talk about every time we get together is doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Let me know, everybody that's here right now, if you have been doing your deep breathing, give me a like, give me a love. Tell me that you have been doing your deep breathing because it is super essential for you to get past this trauma. If you do your deep breathing, what you are doing is sending signals to your brain that says, I know that I was in a dangerous situation. I know that I had something very bad and painful happen to me, but that is not where I am right this minute. Right this minute, I'm safe. Right this minute, there is no problem. I do not need this fight or flight reaction that you are starting up, getting my breath to come off fast, and my head is pounding and my heart feels like it's gonna pound out of my chest. I don't need that because I'm not in any physical danger. When our brains see that we've been hurt like this and it thinks that there's a possibility of us being hurt like this again, it will send out adrenaline and give you a fight or flight response and say, no, I'm going to fight off this threat or I'm going to run away from this threat really fast. That doesn't work if it's your honey. If it's your boo, if it's your person, you can't fight or flight your way out of this. It does not work that way. So all of the reactions, people are always telling you, oh, it's perfectly fine. You're justified in feeling how you feel. You're perfectly justified in feeling how you feel. But what you're doing is treating your mate like they are the enemy, treating them like a perpetrator, treating them like an act. Okay. If you keep on treating them that way, that's how your brain will continue to see them. You have to change what your brain is automatically doing by your choices. thinking it through, engaging the higher parts of your brain instead of the little teeny animal part in the back and the bottom that wants you to freak the hell out over this pain. Okay, we've got to be in control of ourselves, knowing what is happening to our bodies and to our brains, and then we can make choices against that in favor of love, against the fear. Okay, so first thing is doing your deep breathing, because that's the opposite of the breathing that you do when you are freaking out, right? When you are freaking out, it's coming fast, it's short. You feel like your chest is hurting, your heart's about to pound out of your chest. That is the opposite when you're doing slowing it down. The fast, quick breathing, that is going to raise your pulse. It's going to raise your blood pressure. There are physical things that happen to you when you do that. There are also physical things that happen to you when you slow it down and do your deep breathing, fully exhaling. When you are panicked, you inhale more than you exhale. And so if you are just blowing out, exhaling, letting yourself let go of some of that carbon dioxide. That's a physical thing. Your body can tell that the carbon dioxide level has gone down in your lungs, and you must not be in any danger because you're releasing that into the air. You must be all right. Your brain will be convinced by what you do. So, we've got to do our deep breathing. What I do is 4-7-8 breathing. Now, you can pick whatever pattern you want. If you do like 5-5-5, that's square breathing. You can do that. That is fine. There is something called alternate nostril breathing. You inhale and exhale through one side. I think you actually have to do it with two specific fingers. But inhale and exhale through this side, inhale and exhale through that side. Doing that back and forth, you have to slow down. It calms you, it gets you centered, and it gives you more oxygen to your brain, which will always help. If you are in a situation where you need to be thinking, you need more oxygen to your brain. So all of these things, whichever one you pick, do it. That's all it comes down to. Do it and do it consistently. Don't just say, okay, when I'm freaking out, I'm going to do my deep breathing. It's too late then. It's too late then. You need to start before the issues start, before the trauma response in your body is acting up. You've got to start doing the deep breathing so that you're constantly pulling that level down all the time, bringing it down to a manageable level every single solitary time. All right. So we're gonna do our deep breathing. We do 4-7-8. What we do is blow out, empty out your lungs, get all that carbon dioxide out. Then you're gonna inhale for a count of 4. You're gonna hold that breath for a count of 7, and then you're gonna blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. All right. We're gonna do it all together for 3 repetitions just because of time. But usually I want you to do this 5 times a day. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is blow out. Make that noise. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lovely. Ladies, how does it feel to do your deep breathing? How does it feel to sit here and inhale and exhale, slowly, deeply expanding your lungs, bringing those shoulders down and back, getting that oxygen into your bloodstream? How does it feel? It should feel a little bit better. It should feel better than the heightened way you've been lately, your heart pounding, your breath coming so short. It should feel a little bit better than that. Some people, it makes them very sleepy. If it hits you and you are just like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, the trauma has kind of worn you out, and that fresh oxygen to your brain has let your brain know it's tired. But sometimes that fresh oxygen getting to your brain says, hey, everything's all right. I am energized. Let's go. So it depends on how you are in the moment when you do it. But the more you do it, the more consistent you are, the better it's going to be. If you do it consistently through the day, five times a day, set your timer, set your alarm on your phone to like morning for when you first get up, then lunchtime, then mid afternoon, then like the evening, and then like bedtime. Put all of that into your phone and make sure you do the breathing every time the alarm goes off. You're going to be managing better just from that. Just from that alone, you're going to feel better. You are not going to be as stressed out as you are dealing with this trauma. All right. Physical things. This is a physical thing you can do something about. It's not just your emotions. We can get control of how our bodies are feeling. And once we do that, we convince our brain that we're safe. All right. The next thing that you need to know every single time we get together, I need you to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? Have you sat down and broke open your journal and written about your day, your feelings, whatever is going on? I need you to do that bit of self care for yourself, okay? I need you to do that. I need you to be on that. I need you to think about it every day, first thing in the morning, when you do your first deep breathing, and then when you're doing your last deep breathing during the day, pair those up and do about, oh, 5 minutes is all you really need. You don't need to write an entire book. You don't need to write 60 pages. That's unnecessary. 5 minutes to pour out what is right at the top of your brain that's bubbling over, get it all out, and then everything else can settle back down to a simmer. And so then the important stuff is in the journal. It's written down. You can tell your brain, hey, I wrote all that down so we can come back to it later. We do not need to obsess over it all day. That is not necessary. Again, that is doing something that will affect you physically. If you tell your brain what you need it to do, a lot of time your brain will do it. If you are consistent about it, if you tell your brain, hey, look, I put it all down, we're going to leave this alone until later on tonight when we come back and journal again, your brain will be like, oh, okay, all right, that's the plan. We wrote it down. It's solid. It's on paper with pencil. I mean, with pen. And hey, look, it must be all right because she wrote it down. So that means that we really are going to come back to it. It really is important to her. Once you've done that, your brain will usually let it go for at least a little while. All right. Unless you come back and start obsessing about it. If you choose to come back and obsess about it, it's going to keep coming back. But if every time it rises to the surface, you're like, no, no, no brain. That is not what we're doing right now. I have other things to do. I got to go to the grocery store. I got to go to work. I don't have time for this right now. It's in the journal. We'll come back to it. A lot of time it'll let it go in your brain. All right. Everybody joining me. So glad you're all here. Give me some likes. Give me some love. Let me know that you're here. Got to have that. Got to know that you're here. Let the algorithm know that you're here. You know, if you like my stuff, then it will send you more if you like. So, all right. All right. Next thing that we need to talk about is I want you to develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I know that right now it feels like you don't have anything to be grateful for, that is just all bad, that you have been suffering, that you are in pain, that it cannot be good right now. But the thing is about the good stuff in life is it comes even at the worst times. The good things in life are still going to be there even when you're experiencing a bad time. So if you look around you and pay attention, you'll be able to see those things and they will pull you through the bad times. So I want you to develop an attitude of gratitude every single day. Look for the things. Look for the things that make you say, huh, I'm happy those things exist. I saw Lise Myers. She started taking pictures when she was feeling joyful, when she was feeling good, and she was like, yes, this is a good moment. She'll take a picture of it. And so that picture doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but that picture is a moment of joy that she is grateful for in that moment. And every time she looks at those pictures, she's like, joy, happiness, grateful for that happening. It brings it right back up to the surface. It's very easy to bring pain up to the surface. It's also pretty easy to bring up joy if you choose to do it. You have to make a conscious decision that that's what you're doing. And if you do it and you do it consistently, your brain will look for it. The same way if you say, you're looking for yellow Volkswagens on the street, you're gonna see yellow Volkswagens. They're gonna start coming out of the woodwork because your brain is actually seeking them out, even unconsciously. Even while you don't recognize that it's doing it, it will be doing it. So if you give your brain this task to look for things to be grateful for, it will find them. It will find those things. It will take you a minute to recognize it, but then be like, hey, something to be grateful for. My brain was right. All right. So we've got to start doing that. So that's why I do Thirsty Thursday. But apparently my Thirsty Thursday didn't post. So while you all are here, since you're here, I've got you with me. Could you give me something good that is happening to you this week that you can be grateful for? Put it in the comments so I can share and share with everybody that this is going on, because you need to share the good things. When you talk about them, you are talking about what you want. You're like, oh, hey, this wonderful thing happened to me. You are training your brain that, oh, this is something that she means to talk about. This is something that she wants to share with other people. So I got to come up with more stuff for her to share. So it will be much, much easier to be able to share those good things if you start paying attention and start looking for them. I'm grateful for something every day. I'm grateful. Oh goodness, what was I? Oh, I don't think I did my gratefulness practice today. Isn't that funny? I am grateful that the snow is melting. There you go. That's one thing I am grateful for. I'm grateful that the snow is melting, even though there's some ice patches now because of it. But I am very grateful that the snow is melting and we're getting back to normal Virginia wintertime weather, because that cold snap, that was just too much for me. That's not how we do it here. I don't appreciate that, but I do appreciate that the sun is coming back out and the snow is melting. All right. All right. Put it in the comments, all the good stuff that's been happening to you this week. All right. Let's see. Hey, Charmaine. I see you, girl. Hi. All right. Everything been going good with y'all, Charmaine, since we talked? Everything been pretty chill, pretty copacetic since the last time we saw each other? Let me know. All right, let's see. Next thing, the last thing I'm always going to tell you about every single solitary time we get together is the fact that you've got to stop asking all those damn questions. All right. Oh, you said you're grateful for no snow today too, Charmaine? No, that's right. You're somewhere where it snows regularly, so it's a shock to my system. I don't know how to deal with this, but I'm glad it didn't snow for you. Oh, hey, glad you're here too. Hi. You say you're grateful for finally choosing to have good days with your spouse. Yay! I'm so excited about that too. I am so happy you told me about that. We're going to talk about that because that's a big one. But actually, what I'm about to say kind of goes into that. We're asking the questions. It's a great way to ruin your day. All right. When you are in that mixed up roller coaster of emotions after the infidelity, your brain says, look, we've got to collect as much information about this issue as possible. And so it wants you to ask every question in the book. Okay, first of all, you're not going to believe the things that he says. Okay, that's just not going to happen. When somebody first betrays you, you're not just going to automatically believe everything they say anyway. So it doesn't do you much good to ask all these questions. But it is not actually for understanding that you're asking these questions. Your brain is trying to collect this information as ammunition to use against him. Okay. It is the same way our brains seek out. Okay, if we see a spider on our ceiling, we gotta follow the damn spider, right? We want to know all the information. Where the spider come from? What's going on with it? Is it venomous? We want to know a whole bunch of information about the spider because it's a threat to us. Our brains have evolved that spider shape is a threat. So we've got to start treating our honey like he's the threat. Asking all those questions, trying to narrow down everything, it's just going to drive you crazy. It doesn't help. If it did help, I'd say do it. But it just makes the trauma response stronger. It's the same way that phobias work. If you fall into, okay, my brain says I'm afraid of riding in a car. All right, then you start to say, well, I don't want to ride in the car. I need to drive the car. And then your brain is like, no, no, if I'm driving the car, it could just be as bad. So then I need to stay closer to home. I don't need to drive anywhere. Okay, well, no, because something bad could happen to me if I walk to the store. So I should maybe stay in my house forever. So now we've gone from being a little afraid of a ride in a car, maybe because of an accident or something, to being agoraphobic, being stuck in your house and can't go anywhere because you kept listening to the fear. You kept following what the fear told you, everything that it was saying to you. You went ahead and said, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm going to avoid that thing. If you keep on asking all these questions, you're going to create yourself a phobia. You are going to give yourself a complex. There is no need to do it. Okay. It does not work. It just imprints that on your brain stronger every time you do it. And it's like, oh, well, I'll be satisfied if I get this answer. And there's never any satisfaction. Your brain is lying to you. It just wants information because it considers that person a threat. If you stop treating them like a threat, your brain will stop treating them like a threat too. Okay? That's why we got to stop asking all these questions. Oh, Karen, you said I encountered a bump. Okay. My husband was playing a game with other people and was sending me face emojis while playing the game back and forth. Yes, profile was a woman. I told him it's not okay, and that's how things start. He hasn't played the game since. It's been over a week. Why don't they ever learn? I'm so disappointed. Oh, Karen, he was playing an online game, huh? It's just, okay, look, if they were flirting, if it was something more than that, I understand that it can start like that. But you're also saying that no matter what, he can't ever speak friendly to another woman. That came from the cheating. That was a change that happened in your brain that said, oh no, he can never speak to any other women. He is completely untrustworthy in that way, shape, or form forever now because he's done this. Playing a game doesn't mean that he's cheating. That's not the same thing. Your brain, to see that phobia thing. The more you follow along with your brain saying, well, this shouldn't be, he shouldn't be able to do this, and he shouldn't be able to do that, and he should have less and less autonomy, he should have less and less freedom because he's shown that he's not trustworthy, it gets worse and worse and worse. And so then you become a damn warden. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to patrol him on a game and say, oh, I'm so disappointed in you for playing an online game with these other people. You shouldn't have to do that. That shouldn't have to be your responsibility. He was talking to them back and forth. Okay, emojis, I get it. But that doesn't mean cheating. It can just be friendly online gaming too. So if he's doing something, check him out. Try and give him the benefit of the doubt. Check him out. Go ahead and let him go ahead and play. And then if he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing, you will be able to see it. But you saw this. You saw this wide open. He wasn't doing anything trying to be sneaky or anything. He was just chatting online, playing a video game. That doesn't have to be a threat. I don't want normal things to be a threat. That's how phobias become phobias. If you make normal stuff into a threat, it's going to be a threat for the rest of your life. You don't have to live like that. That sucks. You know what I mean? That makes sense? Let me know. All right, back to the questions. All right, we got to stop asking all those questions. Every single time I tell you this, I want you to understand that your brain is doing this on purpose. It is not trying to make you understand. It is trying to treat him like a threat. And the more questions he answers, the more your brain is like, oh yeah, see, a threat would answer like that. All right, your brain will itch to ask questions. It really will. It does it for a reason because it is trying to investigate, trying to get as much information on the threat as it possibly can. You've got to stop it from doing that anytime you can possibly do it. If you realize you're about to start asking a whole bunch of questions, they're bubbling up on your lips, go write it down. Go sit with your journal and say, okay, what am I afraid of here? Because that's what it is. It's coming from fear. So write down, what am I afraid of here? What is the question that I want to ask? What's the fear behind that question? All right. A lot of the time, you will be able to figure out that it's something from inside you, not something that he's doing, but something from inside you. All right. So instead of asking all the questions that are in your head, okay, I will give you a better idea. This is the and, THEAND. I've been telling you about this for some years now. This is a good deck. If you got to ask a question, if your brain is itching, your brain is like, I must ask him questions. Okay, ask him one of these. Okay, ask him something. This is the Healing Edition deck. It's from the good people at the Skin Deep. Um, it is on Amazon. Just put in the and in Amazon. It'll pop right up. They've got a whole bunch of different decks for different relationships, but this one is the Healing Edition. So I'll give you some questions from this. These are much better questions to ask than the questions that are going through your head. Okay. First thing is, what do you think surprises me most about our connection? That's a good question. Wouldn't you rather know that? Wouldn't you rather know that than the things that they did? Where did they go? What were you thinking? How did she look? Wouldn't you rather know that than all of that other stuff? It would be better, right? It would be better for your brain. I promise you that. What do you think surprises me most about our connection? And think about it yourself. What does surprise you most about your connection with them? For me, it was figuring out that, oh, hey, I love this man enough to forgive him and actually mean it. Oh, okay. I guess I really am connected to him. All right. Next one is, in what ways do you think we perceive life similarly? How are we alike? How do we feel like, okay, yeah, we believe life is the same in these ways. All right. And one more. This one says, what are you not facing? Now, see, that one might be an interesting one that ends up getting a little deeper, a little bit into the infidelity, but don't lead the way with that question. Just ask him, okay, what are you not facing? And then hear him out. And this deck is good because you can actually pass, but you got to hold hands and look into each other's eyes if you want to pass. So, either way, it's going to be a little intimacy and a little connection. Okay? What are you not facing? That's a good one. All right. So now let's get into it. We're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about some questions. Nas gave me a good one. Nas gave me a good question, and we're going to talk about it. All right. But if you've got questions for me, put them in the comments. Okay. Let me know what you want to talk about, because that's what I do this for. I want you to know how to deal with this, how to maneuver through this pain, through this fear, how to get back to the love, how to stop feeling so bad. Whatever it is that you're feeling bad about, let me know, and we will answer those questions. Okay. All right. First thing, Nas gave me. Oh, where is it? There we go. Okay. All right. I told her we were definitely going to get into this today. She asked me about, okay. She said, frame it as healthy boundaries. And that's a really good way to frame it, for real. Just what we were just talking about. She said, since the infidelity, my boyfriend has given me full access to his location, emails, phone, and social media. I appreciate the effort on his part. However, I find myself getting completely consumed by checking everything several times throughout the day. I haven't found anything, but it's like an addiction. If I see he's like a female's picture, I get angry. Again, the normal interactions on social media shouldn't be threats. That is your body and your brain saying that, oh, that's scary because he could be talking to another woman. He could be cheating on you. He could do that any old time, any old day. You're saying that anything normal and normal interaction on social media, just liking a picture, could mean cheating. That's a lot. That's a lot of normal things that could be taken as cheating every single day. All right. So anyway, she said, Oh yeah, if you like the picture, female's picture, I get angry. The whole day is ruined. I find myself now wondering why he liked it. Does he not like me? Is this what he likes? Is this why he cheated? Maybe I'm not what he wants. Girl, you put it down exactly how it goes because that's what happens. Those thoughts start tripping over themselves. That is a trauma response. Your brain saying, I'm upset about you even liking anybody else because that means something bad about me. Your brain on trauma will say that everything is bad, including you. It doesn't give a damn about you. You know, your trauma, people kind of wrap themselves up in their trauma because their trauma is like, oh, you must protect yourself. You must make sure that you're all right. But it doesn't really care about that, okay? Not emotionally with you. So it was like, oh, yes, protect yourself because you're so stupid and you're so bad and nobody loves you. That's what your brain is doing to you. So it's not a loving thing. It's not a healthy thing that it's doing to you. It is telling you, oh, you're such a terrible person. And that's why this bad thing happened to you. Making somebody else's actions somehow your responsibility. Somehow or another, it's all your fault. That's what your brain is doing when you're feeling the trauma. She said, I'd like to know how to navigate this space. Is this all access really healthy? Is all access really healthy? You know, I hope that makes sense. And it totally makes sense, right? Because everybody here, raise your hand if you've gone through that too. You're looking through all this stuff, you're paying attention to what's going on with him, and you're like, oh my God, this means something bad about me. He sees other women, he looks at other women, so that must mean that I'm ugly. First of all, why does it have to be a comparison? There are millions of beautiful women on the planet, including you. There's a meme that comes up on Facebook. It says that flowers are pretty and Christmas lights are pretty, but they're not the same pretty. You don't have to be prettier or better than anybody else. Stop comparing yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy, they say. It really does. When you try and compare your unique and wondrous and beautiful being to anybody else on this planet, you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel like you're less than because there's so many other people, so many other traits that you feel like you could have that could be wonderful if you had them. You don't need to do that. You don't need to compare yourself to anybody. Okay? So that is exactly what it is. When you go digging through his stuff, when you are looking, and I say go digging through like you don't have permission. You have permission, but it's not good for you. It is not something that you would be doing. If he had never cheated, you wouldn't feel the need to be going all through his stuff, looking at who he's talking to, seeing what his social media activity is like. If you did feel like that before, then that was something that you always had to work on internally. But if this was not behavior that you had before, it's just behavior that the trauma, the fear, the pain tell you that you need to be doing, you have to make the choice not to do that. Because that's the only reason that you're going to look. That's the only reason that you're going and checking to see what he's saying, checking to see what he's doing, is there's fear there. There is doubt there. There's pain coming up to the surface. You've got to address that and not use that as an excuse to go and do something that you wouldn't normally do anyway. Pain and fear and trauma will make you act out of your character. That is a lot of the time why I think that they end up cheating is fear or pain. Something has gone wrong and it makes them act out of their character. But if you are experiencing this pain and you are listening to it constantly, you will do things that are painful to you and painful to other people because all the pain is worried about is isolating you, keeping you away from situations where you could be hurt. But then that takes you away from the people. It takes you away from the connections that make your life happy and fulfilling. So we've got to recognize that that's what our brain is doing and then choose that we're not going to do it. It is wonderful that he gave you access to everything. It is demonstrating that, yes, you can trust me. Then the part about trusting is actually believing that they can be trusted. Trust is not checking. That doesn't build trust at all. You can do it over and over and over and over and over again. You can look through everything, Google Maps, see where he is, every stop in his day. That's not going to build your trust. That is building your mistrust. You are selling your brain that I don't trust him. I need to see what he's been doing. I need to check up on him. I need to be his warden. I need to be his supervisor in order to protect myself. And when you do that, you reinforce what the trauma is saying anyway. The trauma is like, yeah, that's what I told you. I told you you couldn't be trusted, girl. That's what the trauma is saying in your brain. I told you, yes, you're absolutely right. You do need to go through his phone. And then you sit there and you're going through everything and you're anxious, right? When you start going through, when you start scrolling through stuff that you actually shouldn't be in, invading privacy. If he had done it to you, it'd be an invasion of privacy, right? So if it's an invasion of privacy, you know it's wrong. You feel it. Your heart starts pounding all hard. You know that it's the wrong thing to do because you don't feel good doing it. And then you don't find anything. Oh Lord, that's the worst thing that can happen, right? Because now you've proven your brain is lying. And your brain was like, I'm not lying. He's a cheater. You know he's a cheater. Remember how bad you hurt. And then it brings back all that pain to reinforce that you shouldn't be trusting him just because you can't find anything in his phone, just because you don't see him doing such a thing. That doesn't mean that he can be trusted. That's what trust is. Trust is just believing the best of them, not having proof of it. It's a belief. You believed before he did this, before he cheated, you believed. And that was helped along by hormones. Again, our bodies messing with us, okay? Our bodies produced enough hormones when we were falling in love to say, oh, I want to trust this person. Let me open myself up to them. Let's have babies. Let's be together. Your hormones will do that to you and make you believe that you completely trust this person like 100% and you don't even know them. Okay. So now you've got a situation where you've got to actually choose to trust them and do the action of trusting them in spite of your brain arguing with you about it. The same brain that kicked in all those chemicals and hormones is now fighting against you. Like, no, no, I was wrong. He wasn't really the one. No, you told me he was the one, brain. I'm going to run with that. All right. So we've got to believe in the people that we love. We got to believe more than that in the choices that we've made. I don't think that you were just so blind and so crazy and so just in love and out of your mind that you didn't recognize that they were a bad person. I don't think that that's what happened. I think you saw them, you started to fall for them, and you saw all the good stuff about them. You chose to ignore some things about them that weren't so good. But I don't think that you were so wrong in saying that this is a good person, this is who I want to give my heart to. I don't think that you were that far off about that. I think if you made that decision within your heart and you followed through with it and you are still following through with it now by trying to heal and reconcile and be forgiving, then I don't think that you were wrong about that decision. You got to have some faith in the decision that you made. You got to say, hey, look, I believe that I am making good decisions. Even if he wasn't making good decisions, I believe I was. So I'm going to trust that my trust in this person is correctly placed. And then you go about trusting them every day. You wake up in the morning. And that's another thing me and Nas was talking about earlier. You've got to make up your mind to have a good day. You've got to make up your mind about what your day is going to be like before you even put foot to the floor in the morning. You just make up your mind that it's going to be a good day. If there is any reason for me not to trust him, I will choose to trust him. I will choose it. I am committing to it now. So even when it comes up and you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I don't know if I should trust him, you have already made that choice that morning. It's already made. You don't have to sit there and listen to the fear and the pain and all of that stuff running all off in the mouth in your head. You don't have to listen to it then. You've already made your decision. And you remind yourself when it starts trying to replay all the reasons why you shouldn't trust them. And oh, well, if this happens, then I won't trust them. No, I am saying that I have made up my mind, brain, that I will trust him today. Even if I don't trust him tomorrow, I am choosing today that I will trust him. If there's something that comes up where I can choose to trust or not trust, I am going to choose trust, because your trust is your belief. I always say nobody earns trust. Nobody earns it. We give it away to who we want to have it. Okay. If they are willing to do things like give you their location, give you their email password, all of that stuff, if they're willing to do it, have you sit there and watch them play the game. If you're willing to do that, all right, that's great. That's wonderful that they're so sweet that they're trying so hard to regain that trust. But they can't give you trust. Trust comes from inside you. So he can't just put it on a platter and be like, here's some trust for you, baby. He can't do that. Right? So you got to decide that this is a person that you choose to trust, somebody you want to trust, and then do the action of actually trusting them. Does that make sense? Y'all let me know. If I can go on off about this for quite some time. It is a really important thing. When I was going through his phone and all that, I was feeling like crap. Because I was already triggered. Because you're already triggered if you feel like, oh, I should go through his stuff. You're already there. You're already triggered. And so then you go through it, and then if you don't find anything, then it's just like the worst feeling in the world, because you were like, oh, I did all of that and felt all bad like that, and there was nothing to find. And then your brain starts working on you like, well, there was probably something to find, but he probably erased it. Your brain will go off and tell you all sorts of awful things for no reason, just to say that it's protecting you. And it's not really protecting you, because it hurts you. It hurts to not be with the person you love. It hurts not to trust them. It hurts not to be able to be close to them. Okay. All right. Now said that she woke up and decided to have a good day, and it started going well, and it started rolling, and it went from a weekend to, oh my God, it's almost a whole week and we're doing good. It is not even that difficult once you actually make the decision and you try and act it out. As soon as you do that, you start changing the things around you. When you change the things around you. Every time, I'm going to say that almost every time you hear me. When you change the things around you. So when you decide it's a good day, it's a good day, that is what I'm expecting. That is how I am going to behave every minute of this day, that it's a good day. When you start doing that, the universe aligns with you. It's that, oh, that's all you had to do. I feel like the universe listens. I am a big proponent of pronoia. There's paranoia, which is the fear that everything and everyone is out to get you. There is pronoia, which is the belief that the universe is firmly on your side. It has a crush on you. It loves you. It wants you to have everything that you want. And every time you start to act like a certain thing, it will give you more of that thing. So if you act like you want to have a good day, the universe rushes to get in line with that. It's like, oh, she said a good day today. Let me show her how good a day it could be. Oh, I bet you I could do a good day tomorrow too. It will start to pile up good for you. But you got to get it in your head that the pain and the fear will try and keep coming back, will try and keep making things worse. But when you choose the love and to let the fear go and not do what it says, then you are influencing the entire universe to listen to you and give you good stuff. All right. I hope that that makes sense to you, because that's the way I live my life. And I swear it works. Okay. The more good stuff you look for, the more good stuff happens. So if you're constantly on that, constantly telling yourself that you are going to have a good day, it's going to be a good time with you and your honey. You are going to feel loved. You are going to feel happy. You're going to feel filled. You're not going to have that fear. It's not going to be filling up your heart, filling up your chest. It's not going to be all of that anger, because you are able to let it go. You can do that. You can choose it. And when you do that, everything starts to align with that. It's the same way that everything starts to align with you feeling bad and you feeling fearful and you feeling angry. Everything lines with that, right? He starts doing all the wrong stuff. The world starts going to hell in a handbasket at that point. But when you do the right things and choose the right things happen. Okay? That makes sense. That's a little metaphysical or whatever, but I have found that that's just the way the universe works. Whatever you change is what changes. If you go ahead and go for it and decide that it's not going to disturb you, it's not going to disturb you. You will be unbothered. Okay? Let's see. Let's see. Are any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Go ahead and put them in the comments. Let me know if you got anything for me, anything you want me to answer, anything that's going on with you right now. Oh, because I always teach you about the dreams formula, and this was exactly what I had to do, what I did myself personally to get myself to a better place. The decision part is a big deal. We just did the Big D challenge last week, and it is imperative that you make the decision about what you want. And you're very clear about it, and then you follow through with it. When you do that, you influence everything else to follow. As telling said to my husband today, if you aren't part of the cycle anymore, it's not a cycle. It's not there anymore. If you take yourself out, all of a sudden the whole cycle falls all apart. So if you decide that you are not going to participate with the fear and the pain anymore, then that's what's going to happen. You are not going to do that. All emotions last about 90 seconds. That's how long our bodies and our brains actually experience an emotion. Longer than that, it is being held on to. That's why it's so easy and so quick when you decide that you want to have a good day now. You want to be in love, you want to be happy. When you decide that and do the little things to show that that is true, it almost immediately changes. When you are doing the things that show what you want, then you'll get what you want. But if you hold on to an emotion, emotions stay around because you're hanging on to them. So if you are feeling bad, feeling angry, feeling like you're grieving, feeling like you want to hit him, you are hanging on to that emotion. If it's been longer than 90 seconds, you are hanging on to it. You are consciously doing something to keep that feeling close to you. Feelings are designed to give you information. They are not designed to be lived in. You are not supposed to live in fear constantly. That's why we have like anxiety disorders and people's whole bodies and whole nervous systems get out of whack because you're not supposed to feel anxious and fearful and pain and stressed all the time. That's not what's supposed to happen. The emotion is supposed to come in, it's supposed to give you some information about this situation at hand, and then it is supposed to move the hell on so that the next emotion can come in. When you decide that you're not going to hang on to the emotions anymore, they'll start to pass more easily and you'll get that information much more readily. You're going to be a little blinded if you are hanging on to sorrow and that grieving and that loss and that sadness and that pain. If you're hanging on to that, you're going to literally miss things because your brain is occupied with a feeling that shouldn't be there in the moment, and then you're going to miss the next thing that you needed your emotions for, the next thing that you needed to know and feel. You're going to miss it because you're stuck in one particular emotion. You're not letting it move so another emotion can take its place and give you its information. Does that make sense? And once you start considering it like that, that was a big key point for me. Finding out that emotions were only supposed to last like 90 seconds, I was like, oh hell, I could have been let this go. That's me holding on to it. It's not the feeling beating me over the head. It's me going back to the feeling, going back to the thoughts over and over and over again that's causing this problem. All right. Oh, let's see. How do we let go? My emotions definitely last more than 90 seconds. First things first, you got to do your deep breathing. Okay. It's going to get you in contact with it, it's going to calm you. If your emotions, if you're freaked all out, if you are consistently doing your deep breathing every single day, doing it all throughout the day, 5 times a day, you are constantly telling your body where these emotions are coming from. You are constantly telling your body that, hey, I am not in any danger. Everything is all right. There is nothing for me to be worried about. And so it starts to clear those emotions out when you are convincing your body throughout the day by showing it that you're okay. Then your body starts to believe you. Your brain will start to believe you. And then you can let that emotion go and you can move to the next one. The gratitude practice is another great way to let it go. If you are in a mood and everything is bad and you are just negative, 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 go find something you are grateful for. It is a move. It's not even just a lateral move. It's like like a half step up from wherever you are. If you're in a bad space emotionally, but you think about, I am so grateful for the fact that we have internet. I am so grateful I get to reach out into the world and talk to you all and help you and get all your questions because of such a thing as the internet. That was not a thing when I was a child. It did not exist, and it came into being while I've been into being. And what an amazing thing that is. When you focus on that, that is moving the negative emotion out of the way and refreshing with a more positive emotion. So then if you go back to a negative emotion, it wasn't because your negative emotions are just deciding to go overboard. It's because that was the last emotion that you felt and you're like, well, wait, I should be holding on to that, and you'll kind of go back to it. Come back to the gratefulness. Be like, well, I'm so grateful for the fact that emotions are only supposed to last 90 seconds. And if I focus on something that I am grateful for the next 90 seconds, I can move on to the next emotion that I'm going to feel. And then look for the next emotion. Look for the next one. Look for a good one to be following up. Your brain will keep on trying to tell you negative things. If you've been stuck in anxiety, your brain changes, your nervous system changes. So if you go ahead and like move past it by being grateful, then your brain is like, oh, okay, I guess we're all right. I guess everything's okay now. Somatic exercises work too. Somatic exercises, have you ever seen? I gotta post that up here. The hip opening exercises. Why that is, I don't know exactly what that's all about. It's somatic, somatic exercises that you can do that release stored emotion, that like help you just like release it. There's like these hip stretches that people do the hip stretches and start crying, like boo-hoo crying. Go check that out. Because to me, I was like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Now, I can do all those hip stretches, but I've been doing those for like years and years and like physical therapy and everything. So it doesn't affect me the same way because I've always been doing them. But it is a release and it does feel better. Like just physically, it feels better when I do them. So try that out and see. Um, I gotta look it up. I'll post one of her videos in the group. I gotta look it up. I gotta find it because I think I like her too. I think I follow her. I gotta post one of the videos in the group. And she does like these little, just simple things to open up your hips, to open up your body. There was one she just posted about releasing pent up anger. Was standing in a sumo wrestler stance, legs far apart, a little bit bent. Take a pillow over your head and slam it into the ground. It's a physical thing, but that's where your emotions are actually physically part of your body. So if you do the physical thing to like release the emotion, the emotion will be released. That makes sense. I gotta put it up here. I will put a couple of her videos in the comments and in the group tonight. I just gotta find her. I'm pretty sure I follow her at this point. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Oh, if you're here with me now, send me a message because I'm doing a little webinar, little workshop this weekend. And I need some of y'all to come and hear it. I've done it a couple of times before, but I've tweaked it a little bit. I have some more information, some more details to give to you. We're going to talk a little bit about getting your happy ending in this situation. So, go ahead and send me a message if you are here with me or you're interested in coming and checking that out. All right. All right. I guess that's about it. Let's see. The last thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together, I need you to start doing affirmations. Okay. Along with your deep breathing, along with your journaling, along with your gratitude practice, along with not asking a whole bunch of questions. I need you to start being good to you. I need you to start doing the self care of telling yourself something beautiful and kind about yourself every single day. This trauma affects your brain and tells your brain that you are just less than. You are not good enough. There's something wrong with you. He must like other people more than you, and you must compare yourself to others. I am here to tell you that you are incomparable. Nobody can be compared to you. You are the queen here. You are the main character of your story. You might be a villain in somebody else's, but you are the main character in yours. So nobody else matters. None of these NPCs out here matter at all because you're the important one. You're the one who's living this life. You're the one who is striving for a happy ending. So you don't need to compare yourself with anybody. You've got to recognize what you want to believe about yourself and then constantly tell yourself what you want to hear about yourself. For a long time, I am 6 feet tall. Okay. I'm a big girl. And I'm big too. I'm over 300 pounds. So I am a huge girl. Every time, I go somewhere, I call attention because I'm bigger than most people. I'm bigger than most girls that are out here. All right. Long time. I went to like private schools and I'm the only big black girl and it's little teeny tiny white girls. The whole time I was in school and I got developed this complex like I'm not pretty like them. I don't have the hair like them. I can't in the braiding train. I'm always in the back because nobody can braid my hair. It's the whole thing, okay? All the time thinking terrible things about myself. And my self esteem was very poor, and my anxiety was through the roof because I was always thinking that everybody else was thinking all those negative things about me. I realized that that's a coping mechanism. It's called mind reading, which is a bad coping mechanism. You do not know what other people are thinking about you. You don't know that. You are making that shit up. And more than that, you are making it up from negative thoughts and feelings about yourself. So the day that I decided, okay, I'm gonna switch that. If I'm believing that I can read people's minds, if I'm gonna believe that, then I'm gonna believe that every person's mind is on how fabulous I am. Every person's mind is thinking, oh my gosh, she should be walking the red carpet. Oh my gosh, let me take a picture. Let me talk to her. Let me shake her hand. Let me meet her. She is wonderful. She's so beautiful. She is like God has come to earth. Okay. When I started believing that, instead of thinking that I knew what everybody was thinking about me, that I was thinking bad things about, instead of doing that and just choosing to believe that they all thought wonderful things about me, people started to treat me differently. It really was a real thing that happened. As soon as I believed those things about myself, everywhere I went, people wanted to talk to me. People were trying to be friendly with me, waving. People I don't even know, honking at me at cars. Every minute I was out in public, that was what happened. It felt different. And that was just a cause of me believing something different, believing that all of these people out in the world think that I'm a wonderful person and I am a wonderful thing to be seeing first thing in the morning or in the evening. They're so happy that I have graced their lives. As soon as I started thinking like that, everybody started treating me differently. It was not like I was being treated negatively anymore. I was treated with a lot of optimism and enthusiasm. And I think it was just because I just believed something different. I just chose that I was not going to sit there and believe the worst. And it immediately changed. So if you are saying your affirmations to yourself, if you are internalizing, if you are saying, I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I am understanding and loving and compassionate and vulnerable, I am the best possible woman that this man could get. I am exactly his perfect mate. And if he cannot be stupid enough to risk this again. He can't be so stupid that he don't understand that. There is no way in the world because it's obvious to me, it must be obvious to him. When you start thinking that way, start to go. All right. Whatever you put yourself into alignment with is what the universe gives you. So I need you to really start working on your affirmations. I need you to start saying all the good things about yourself, everything that you feel like is bad about yourself. Karen thinking about, well, he's so interested in other women and he wants to talk to them on the game and he doesn't want to talk to me and he's willing to sacrifice and not be with me to have these other women on the stop it. Don't let yourself believe that. Get a grip on that and say, there is nobody on a video game who can threaten me. I am the queen. This king knows damn well I'm the queen. There is no need for me to sit here and stress myself out about anything he's doing in virtual reality because I am the real reality. I am better than reality, honey. All right. When you say that and constantly reinforce that to yourself, your brain will start believing it. Your brain will say that you don't have to worry about him. You don't have to worry about him. You sitting there worried about whether he's going to cheat or not, trying to keep tabs on him, trying to keep him from talking to other people. That's not going to stop him from cheating. That's never worked. That has never been a thing. So instead of going through all that for yourself, tell yourself wonderful things about you. Believe the great things about you. And then you act that way, and then your honey sees you in a brand new light. He is like, oh my gosh, who is this goddess in the house with me? Looking all controlled, looking all in her power, not believing bad things at all. She's believing wonderful things about herself. She believing wonderful things about me. There's no way in the world any woman could ever compare to this. That is how you get him to start thinking that way. Not trying to control him, not trying to check up on him, but actually showing him the main character that you are. You're the one that he's supposed to be with. And if you show that and you act like it, then he's going to be more convinced of it. When you get all worried about other women, you're saying, I don't believe in our love. I feel like any moment you could just run away from me. It's not really real. You don't feel really good about me. I don't feel really good about you. We're not going to make it. That's what you're saying when you worry about other women. When you tell him and you show him that you are not the least bit concerned about a damn peasant girl because you're a queen, that shows him that you feel good about yourself. You feel good about the relationship. There is nothing to be worried about. She believes in me, so I'm going to try my very best to show her that she's doing the right thing by believing in me. That makes sense? All right. Anyway, let me do our affirmation for today. Today, I feel optimistic. Today, I will see the beauty and goodness in the hearts of every person I interact with. I like that one. I try to see the good in everybody. I really do. I know a lot of people that I work with are hurting, and I catch them at like the worst of times. But I was a nurse for 20 years too, so I caught people at the worst of times then too. So I've always been able to accept that. Yes, people are going to have a hard time. People are not going to be at their best when they're first meeting me, but they can be at their best. They will be at their best if I have anything to do with it. So there is something to look forward to. I am optimistic. So today I feel optimistic. Today I will see the beauty and goodness in the hearts of every person I interact with. And I see the beauty and the goodness in you. I love you so much. And I'm so, so proud of you. Never forget that, okay? I want you to understand that I feel like you are doing something incredible. I feel like you are an amazing person. I would read your story. I feel like the main character energy coming from you, that the desire to chase down your love and get rid of the negative feelings and love unconditionally. Like, I would read that story. Okay. I feel like if you had your story printed out, I would be like on the edge of my seat, page turning, trying to find out what happened. So I think that you're doing something wonderful and you should think that about yourself. You have decided that your life is worth you putting in the effort to forgive. That's a beautiful thing. That's a really difficult thing for anybody to do, is to forgive. But if you've decided that your life is worth it, that your love is worth it, I feel like you should be absolutely supported in that. All right. So everybody that's here with me now, make sure message me, because I got something coming up this weekend. I'm gonna do a little chat with you. Um, and if you haven't signed up for my Enchanted Reconciliation call, I'm pretty sure it's in the top of the group. If you if you want to go ahead and set up for a whole meeting with me, go ahead and set one up. All right, so y'all, I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote for today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Remember, do your deep breathing, do your journaling, practice gratitude, stop asking all those damn questions of him, and do your affirmations. And more than anything, don't do what the fear tells you to do. Choose the exact opposite of what the fear is telling you. You will be following what the love wants you to do if you don't do what the fear tells you to do. I know it will seem like it's reasonable, but it probably won't be, and it probably won't lead you anywhere good if you listen to the fear. Okay? All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I'll see you again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube. There we go.